Welcome back to Florida. Home of sunshine, home of palm trees, extremely divided politics, and also home to an interesting little architectural feature known as the Florida Room. Also known as a back porch or patio. But I'll be honest, ever since I moved to Florida in 2011, I've grown fond of calling it by its fancier name. And yeah, this is because of the Golden Girls.
If you will excuse me, Becky and I are having breakfast on the Lanai.
What's a lanai?
The porch.
Excuse me, Crystal Carrington.
I am, of course, a big fan of that show. I'm also a big fan of cozy mysteries whenever I need a break from gruesome horror. So, whenever a new book comes out in the Golden Girls Cozy Mystery book series, it's kind of a big deal in my world. Well, hello. So today is June 2nd, 2026, and that means that today is the day that I get to read this. So about a year ago on April 15th, 2025, a little book was released called, oh, sorry, these are my orchids, by the way, Murder by Cheesecake, written by Rachel Ekstrom. Courage, the first in what was planned to be a Golden Girls Cozy Mystery series. So obviously I read this book, I read it very quickly, I binge read it and made a whole vlog about it and put that up in August of last year. And at the time when I found out that this was gonna be a series, I lost my mind a little bit. It's Golden Girls #1, you guys. If this is popular enough that they make it a series and there's always a new Golden Girls murder mystery to read, my life. Turns out the first book was so successful that they did in fact greenlight a second one, and so Death on the Lanai was officially released today. So I'm gonna read this now, and I'm gonna do it in the same way that I did the other one. These flowers are annoying. You're pretty, but you're very there. So I'm gonna start reading this book tonight now, and try to get through it as fast as possible. I wanna just devour it. But first, as was the case last time, it's time to do some vibe setting. I have snacks. I've got all the chocolate, some spicy trail mix, got some wine, and I might even make a cheesecake. So it is, once again, it's later than I wanted it to be. It's almost 11. Okay. And I am finally here on the couch, ready to go. The cheesecake is baking. I don't know if it's gonna turn out right because the recipe, so I've made a lot of cheesecakes actually in my life, and I've never made one that called for milk. This one called for milk and I didn't have any, so I used twice as much sour cream, and the batter was very thick. Oh. Well, in the meantime, I'm finally gonna start reading Death on the Lanai by Rachel Ekstrom Courage. This is the second book in the series. The peculiar invitation delivered to 6151 Richmond Street is a short on details, promising only to celebrate, quote, the greatest artist of the century, and encouraging its recipients to, it has quotes, dress to kill. Where do I put these? I'm not sure. After reassuring Rose that it's just a saying, the girls ditch another Friday night of gin rummy and get glammed up. It's like, what the? For a soiree at a historic villa. Blanche Devereaux's romantic dalliances are as plentiful as hot southern nights, and surely she can't be expected to remember all of her past suitors. But as the party ferry disembarks at a small Biscayne Bay island and their secretive host makes himself known, the memories come flooding back. She, a Radio City rockette in her 20s, okay. He, the poor artist who could offer her nothing but his love. Fate drove them apart, but fame has enabled him to find her once again. What prompted him to seek her out? And why has he assembled all the major figures in his life at this secluded island? Before anyone can sleuth out answers to these questions, a tropical storm kills the power on the island, and then their mysterious host shows up dead. Okay. Thoughts already. I love the fact that it has to do with Blanche trying to figure out who this man is. The idea that she was a Radio City rockette in her 20s. She did have a dance recital when she was a little girl where they were supposed to be tap dancing, and she was very little, and instead of dancing, she wet her pants.
There were 13 little girls up there. The music started, and 12 little girls started to dance. And one little girl wet her pants. That girl in the puddle was me.
But, like, the idea that Blanche was a rockette has never been mentioned.
What did you do that was so rebellious? When I was 17, I hitchhiked to New York, and for 2 months I was a rockette under an assumed name.
So I'm not totally against her having been a rockette, but I do think that's a little bit of a retcon. Yeah, a party. Mysterious party on an island. A tropical storm. This has all of the makings of, like, the greatest thing ever. Oh, I'm excited to finally actually read this. I'm gonna go take the cheesecake bars out of the oven and start reading this, actually reading it. So far, I've only held it up, talked about it, and, like, sniffed it. And it smells like a book. Okay, reading. Oh, I just realized there's one thing I forgot to do. There is a special candle that I've been saving for the last year that I used during the Murder by Cheesecake vlog, and I need to go get it and light it. Uh-oh. Come on. What? Let's trim that. Or not. Oh my god. Really? Really? Come on, Betty. Betty? Light the damn candle! We're having a tragedy right now, which is that the Betty White candle will not light. How can I read this book without her? This is not okay. This is not okay. This is a tragedy. Oh, no. This is not okay either. Abort. All right, great. Betty rides again. What are you doing? Where's your turtle? You want me to throw it? This is Phillip's turtle. From our friend Adam. Zoe's dad. He brought Phillip a turtle. You want me to throw it? Good boy. Good job. My dog is being needy because he was at the vet today. What I know so far about this book is that Dorothy has a cup of coffee. Okay, that's all I know. I'm trying to get the reflection off of my glasses that I don't need to be wearing. But I do as I'm reading, so I'm gonna read more than one page now. right, so it is like 12:41 a.m. I am like 60 pages in, 57 pages in, and I'm having a really good time. The ladies are at the party now. They received this thing that was delivered to the front door that was a brooch and this letter saying, you know, there's this party, it's on my island, park in this place at this time and someone will bring you there, wear this brooch. And none of them knew who it was. Oh, hello. Phillip wanted to say hello. He's a sweepy boy. None of them knew who that was for, so they all went. And it turns out, of course, it was one of Blanche's old lovers named Declan. His artist name is El Toro. And she knew him when she was in New York, struggling to make ends meet, trying to be a dancer. And there was a whole section in here about how Blanche started out living in the East Village thinking that she would immediately get cast in a Broadway show and how it was actually difficult. I liked seeing that part of her youth. It was just one very brief flashback, but I enjoyed it. And now we're at the party, and so far there's no storm and nobody's dead. There have been some funny lines. But yeah, so I'm having a great time. I need to feed the dogs, and then I should probably feed me. And then I need to relocate into the bedroom. But the Golden Girls is happening. We're gonna read until we drop, till the sun comes up, probably. Okay. All right, we're in bed. The book is good. The readathon is going slowly. It's 2:15 a.m. I really wanted to do this quick and try to get this video up fast. But you know what? We're just enjoying ourselves. Phillip is enjoying his turtle. He's slow chewing on it. Sometimes Phillip gets a toy, and when he first gets it, he starts to like really try to destroy it and rip it apart. And then after a while, he starts just using it to like gives like a slow chew, which is interesting. So that's what we're doing now, is just a slow chew on the turtle. I am about to start chapter 6. The chapters all have really fun names and cute little artwork at the front of them, like this little flamingo. They're short chapters too, which is nice. We haven't had a murder yet. We're setting up the situation. We don't know any of the other people yet, really. But in the meantime, I wanted to get Golden Girls Ambience and see what we come up with in 2026. Golden Girls Ambience. And okay, so we've got the one that we've been watching that we found last time, which has a nice sort of like rendering of the house with like neighborhood sounds with like dogs in the background. We've got the Golden Girls Kitchen Ambience. This one is obviously like an in memoriam situation, and there's a fire on the stove. There are some high level effects happening, and the light of the Lord shining upon the ladies' seats. But there's a couple here. There's a CG tour of the Golden Girls house. I think I've watched this before. It's like narrated. That would not be a good ambiance video. However, there's a beautiful golden sunset by a relaxing private pool. This could be the island. Like this could set the scene for me that they're on the island, except for the fact that the weather is really nice and they're supposed to have a tropical storm at some point. So this is an option. 15 minutes of Golden Girls ambiance with Golden Girls talking in another room. Oh, oh no. Yeah, so you can kind of hear lines from the show, very quiet and muffled. And then crazy rain. This one says, if the Golden Girls had a fireplace, which I think they do actually in the back corner. And I always wondered why they would have that in Miami. Well, this is a very different layout, and that is a gigantic purse. Oh, wow, that's a big purse. This is sort of like a Golden Girls inspired hotel suite. It's not perfect, but it is nice. The phone should be on the opposite side of the couch. I think I might be leaning towards that pool, even though it's not specifically Golden Girls. So I feel like if I just sit here and read, I could read at least to halfway. Oh yeah, so if I get through chapter 16, I could take a break before broaching the subject. So I'm going to try to read through chapter 16. That's what I'm going to do. So it's 3:38 a.m. I have switched the ambiance video, as you can tell, to this non-stop thunderstorm because they were at this party when the tropical storm got really, really bad, and then the power went out. And in the darkness, the really, really, really beautiful brooch, which Blanche eventually actually let Sophia wear to the party, was stolen off of her person. And when they realized it was gone, he made everybody turn out their pockets because it was very, very priceless. It was given to him by Queen Elizabeth. And so they don't know who stole it. And with all of the power out and the weather being so bad, they have to stay the night. And in classic Golden Girls style, the four ladies share a room together. Sophia got to stay on the cot. There was an extra cot. Everybody wanted to sleep in it. And she won after 3 nail-biting rounds of rock, paper, scissors. That line really kind of cracked me up. Blanche and Dorothy settled on either side of Rose in the big bed, tugging the covers from side to side until everyone was equally annoyed. This was a really, really cute scene, and it was so reminiscent of scenes in the show. They have to share a lot on the show when they have people visiting, and there's at least 1, maybe 2 different scenes where all 4 of them are in a bed together because it's too cold and the heater broke or something.
Get your bunny nose out of my butt.
So I'm on page 91. I'm super enjoying the scary storm vibes and all the lightning and thunder and the sleepover and all that kind of stuff. I still want to pour a glass of wine, but I don't want to get sleepy. I have a feeling I will be reading this book on the Lanai tomorrow because I don't think it's possible for me to finish it, but we'll see. So I'm going to keep on reading. Oh, I guess I don't need these on. Just did that entire video with my reading glasses on because I'm cool. So, this man loves Blanche. She is his muse. He painted her a lot over the years. And, well, he's dead. Declan has died. We knew this was going to happen. It's in the blurb. And I'm just about a third of the way through. I'm on page 114. 122 would be a third of the way. Anyway, he's dead now, I guess on the Lanai. I'm not going to vlog anymore. I'm just going to try to get as far as I possibly can through this book, and I will speak to you again during the light of day. Essentially, good night. Let the reading continue. Well, I'm halfway through. The artist is dead. No one is being suspected of it yet, but we have reached the point where the girls are snooping around. And at one point, Dorothy and Sophia have to sneak back into the room where they found the body. People are coming up the stairs and they don't want them to know that they were in there, so they duck into the bathroom. And Dorothy tells her mother to take her dress off and basically throws her into the bathtub and creates this very embarrassing but plausible, I guess, story that Sophia had an accident. And Sophia is so pissed about this because she's like, I'm not incontinent. She's like, there's no shame in it. She says, no, I know there's no shame. Half of my friends are incontinent, but I'm not. Anyway, so that's what they tell everybody so that they'll be like, oh, poor thing, does she need anything? David gets back at like 9 and I have to leave here like 8:30, 8:45. So I want to finish before then. I think I can do it. Golden Girls, part 2 continues. Well, I'm starting to worry that I'm not going to finish this in time. It is 6:30 and I'm on page 228. 138 pages left. There's been a long section in this book of everybody in the room together accusing one another and arguing and sort of bickering. It's getting a little slow, but they finally went up together to look at the body again and they found another footprint. We know now who stole the brooch, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that person murdered the artist. So I'm gonna move to the couch and see if I can finish it before I have to leave to pick up David. I had 2 cups of coffee today. I read on the Lanai. I had 2 pieces of the cheesecake. With all that having been done, there's nothing left to do but to just read. She's still burning, you guys, but it's hard to keep these things lit properly because it's hard for the air to get all the way down. But I got her lit again, so that's a relief. Anyway, okay, I went and picked up David at the airport, and now I have like 80 pages left in the book. The ladies have been busted. So they found a secret passageway through the house, the villa. So they follow it through the house, and the storm is back. And at the end of the last chapter that I just finished, the other people come in and they're like, just what on earth are you four doing? Most suspicious indeed. So I feel pretty strongly that I know who the killer is. But I also think it's possible that there could be like a collaboration going on. So I'm gonna finish the book now in bed, and that'll be exciting. And I will probably not talk to you about this book until tomorrow because it's late and David is here and he's asleep. Yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time. The middle dragged, for sure. But there are so many funny lines. There are so many good one-liners in this that I actually took pictures on my phone of some of them when they came up. And hopefully Betty will make it to the end because she's looking a little anemic right now. The flame is not super strong. It's a little bit morbid. Rose. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna read goodnight. So I finished this book last night, Death on the Lanai by Rachel Ekstrom Courage, and I enjoyed it. I'm giving it 4 stars, just like the last one. I have some thoughts. I had a lot of fun with this. I had a lot of fun. It was fun to be back with the ladies. Once again, this book had a lot of really funny one-liners in it that felt very much like watching the show. So the overall experience was as expected, which is a good thing. The setting in this was awesome. The setting was great. They're on a secluded island. It's a very, very bad storm. The power goes out. I love all of that. This was Blanche's book. This was really much more about her. Whereas the first book was a lot about Rose because she was throwing that wedding. This one was more about Blanche. And I would say most of the chapters chapters are narrated by Blanche, so we got a lot of reminiscences to her, gentleman callers of the past. A lot of names called out from the show that I remembered. Fidel Santiago, Jake the caterer guy, Dr. Elliot Clayton, he was a bad man, Ham Lushbow, Mel Bushman. Anyway, so all of these guys are being referenced in the book, which was fun for somebody like me, who is an obsessive, knowledgeable fan. There's also a moment in this book where, because Blanche's old flame ends up murdered, she's having a hard time and she's kind of taking it out on Dorothy and like ribbing her more than usual, making fun of her outfits and stuff and her lack of a dating life. They do that on the show all the time, but it was more extreme here, and there was a moment where Sophia called her out and said, "That's enough. You've beat up on my daughter enough." And you get the impression that Dorothy actually was tired of it and her feelings were hurt, and Blanche feels really bad and apologizes, and that was very sweet. That's not something that usually happens on the show because there's not time for that. It's just a comedy, but I liked that. That was kind of nice. And it's always interesting when you get to read a character, their inner thoughts in a book, rather than just watching them on screen, because that's more intimate and you get to really understand how they're feeling better. So that was a moment that you couldn't really have on the show that we got to have in here, so I liked that. I will say there are some cons. This book drags in the middle big time. This book is 50 pages longer than the first one, and I don't really feel like it needed to be. It is a cozy mystery after all. I would imagine that snooping around trying to find clues would be kind of tedious, and it felt tedious. It seemed like there were multiple scenes of all of the guests of the party hanging out together and bickering and accusing each other of things. 50 pages. Like, the last time it happened, I remember feeling like, oh, we don't need to do this again. And I was starting to feel a little bit bored. There was certainly a lot of, reminiscing and like character moments that happened during the slow parts, but some of the revelations that led to an uptick in the action, I wish they had come sooner. So I will say that it dragged a little bit, but as soon as it picked up, it really did pick up. And the revelations that were happening about the other people at the party and what was really going on were surprising. And so it caught my interest again very quickly once it did pick up. I guess one last thing I could say is that the main culprit in this book was a little bit easy to spot. So there was not a huge surprise there, although I will say that the details of their motivation and exactly what they were up to in the background, in addition to the murder, did surprise me. So, and again, the mystery and the big shocking reveal of who the killer is in a cozy mystery like this, especially a comedic one that is based on an IP like The Golden Girls, that is not the point. It's not the point of this book at all. The point is vibes and character and hanging out with these people again and having a good time. And on all of those points, this book was a big success, just like the first one. So I liked this. I had a good time. It was dipping down into 3-star territory for a while, and then it ended up a 4 again, just because there were some really nice moments between mother and daughter, and nice moments between the friends, and I liked spending time in this book, and I was sad when it was over. So I really enjoyed it, and I'd recommend it, and I'm glad that I did this. Murder by Cheesecake was the first binge vlog I did, and ever since then I was looking forward to the second one coming out, hoping that there would be a second one. And now here it is, and we did it, and I'm glad that we did it. So thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me. This was fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you've read this book and you have any thoughts, please write them in the comment box below. It is your friend, and I appreciate hearing from you guys. A like and subscribe, as obnoxious as it is for me to ask that, helps a lot, helps the channel, and helps me stay motivated to keep making content like this for you guys. And thanks for watching. So until next time, I will be here. It's not dark, but I'm just going to say in the dark, reading.